Hello, football fans. Welcome back to Hurdle the Line. Yes, Hurdle the Line, the UK's premier amateur podcast about the NFL. Wait, that was kind of redundant, guys. I am your host, Chapman, and join with me this lovely March 23rd is the new guy, Batch, the old guy, Tom, and the super podcast entrepreneur, say names right, our old friend Fletch. Good to have you on, guys. How are we doing?
Come on.
Good evening.
I
It's a it's an audio format, guys.
I I'm good. I've had a good weekend. I had a great day yesterday. I don't know about you guys. I had a
Yeah, I'm sure you
wonderful day
did.
yesterday.
Sure you did.
And I do continue to enjoy this new theme of Chapman reminding everyone they're amateur, they're not getting paid. Um and then call me a super entrepreneur, which makes it sound like I'm getting loads of money and giving you none of it. So thank you again for putting me on this weird blast, Chapman.
I'm I'm pretty. It's not a blast. It's more to light a little bit of a fire under us because I think we all get a percentage of whatever happens in the future. So I'm just knowing I'm riding the wave up. That's what I'm doing.
Let's just get that
Put in
money
the
rolling
timer.
in.
Yeah.
That's what
So,
I'm hearing
Um,
right now.
I've
So
been
but
We've been looking into these Manchester bars in which you can get some pints out of.
well, I mean, look, Fletch has been feasting on the tears of North London for at least a good almost 24 hours now. So,
yeah.
and I had to
Somehow Batch
swim.
is also feasting when he has absolutely nothing to be feasting about, even being a
It's
Liverpool
always
Arsenal fan. So
it's always nice to watch Arsenal bottle it.
But
yeah, but like, where's that coming from? Like,
right,
what
listen,
did Plymouth Argyle do, mate? You can't even
It's
lads,
talk.
fun.
lads,
It's
listen,
fun.
listen, right. As I said to Chapman and when Tom you were in and out, we need to focus on what unites us and what brings us closer together as a group. And we can all take enjoyment out of the fact that Tottenham are about to get relegated. And
Oh yeah,
that's what
yeah,
we should
100%.
focus on.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
that City won a trophy, because City did win a trophy, or that Arsenal lost a trophy, because Arsenal did lose a trophy. Just focus on Tottenham getting relegated.
yeah, 100%. In their
Well,
biggest game of the season, losing 3-0 to Forest, love to see it. So.
I, as the two Arsenal fans, but I am going to remind everybody as the American here that this is an NFL podcast in the UK, and we're here to talk football. It's the first time I've done it on the pod, I think, in 2 years. So there you go. You got my baby talking. And yes, I'm still not wearing Falcons gear on the program out of protest. If you're watching on YouTube. And also, as Fletch said, yes, we are an amateur podcast, but as of last week, we had one of our best weeks in ratings in months. Thank you so much to the new listeners and everyone. Hope you'll join. Tell your friends, send it to your mom, maybe play it for your dog when you're at work. Tell somebody random on your commute to check it out. We're only going to get better, and eventually, when Ollie has Wi-Fi again, which dominates our message board on a daily
Yes.
basis right now. He'll be back on, and we know we'll have some fun takes, Wally. So, gentlemen, without too much further ado, should we start getting into a little bit of news? And for today, the program, what we're going to do is we're going to do our version of what we're going to call stock up, stock down. Free agency. It's free agency's kind of hit a lull and probably will be that way until after the till the draft. Though there was a signing today, which we are going to get to talk about with our friend Tom. And so we're going to talk together, and we haven't really pre-planned this yet. So we're going to maybe do some debating on who we thought got us their stock up by making some moves or not making moves, and then who went down. That could be player and or team. So we're going to talk through that today. All right, jumping off right before we got on here, the I will say, arguably the best tight end of his generation, easily, and one of the best tight ends of all time, has decided to not retire and stay with his team. And that is, of course, Travis Kelce, who will be marrying his beautiful bride, Taylor Swift, on my birthday this summer, June 13th. Ding! Tom, tell us about this deal. Tell us what this means to Chiefs Nation that a very elderly tight end is going to be coming back for another season.
Damn, you had to put it down on it at the end, didn't you, Chad? Yeah, I'm happy for it. I'm happy he's coming back for year 14. It's reported as a 3-year deal worth 54 million or something like that, but it's more or less a 1-year deal. which they could, extend further if they want to, like a bit of cap magician sort of work. So it's basically 1 year, 12 million, with chance of 1 year, 15 million with incentives. But I'm really happy to see him back in the building. He's such a big piece for the Chiefs. Even if his production is sort of taken a bit of a downturn, his presence as a leader in the locker room is massive. And especially with Mahomes coming back off the torn ACL, the Chiefs need that right now. I actually just seen a video before I came on of Mahomes on the phone congratulating Chelsea. So, 1587 going to be back together again. Love to see it.
No, and I totally kid. Kelsey's an all-time great, and he's still, he's still got stuff left in the tank. No reason to retire if he still feels like he can get
And
out
he
there.
wouldn't retire on that as well. That season, missing the playoffs, just a disappointing season all in all. I just couldn't see him retiring on that.
Yeah. Well, you never really get to pick when you're retired, to be honest with you, unless you're like, only a few of them have done it right.
His
I can
brother
think
for
of,
one.
yeah, winning a Super Bowl going out. Also, I was thinking of John Elway winning back-to-back going out. But then there's a lot of Brett Favre throwing interceptions in the NFC Championship game, and that being your last play. But anyway, I digress. So that was one of the big. There was also, I believe, the Rams, if I'm not, re-signed their defensive tackle Murchison, which is I think that. Um, and also, did I miss? Did Jackson Smith and Jigba get another contract over the last few days?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay,
Yes.
let's talk about that.
extension.
I've been in Ireland and not checking NFL stuff. So tell me about this contract.
Well, it's 4 years, 168.6 million, makes him the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. It's 120 guaranteed, I believe. But obviously the average annual value being 42 million makes him the highest paid of all time.
That is wild.
Crazy money.
That sets the
Mid-
bar massively for the other wide receivers that need paying, i.e. Puka. Let's be honest,
Yeah.
Puka will need signing soon. And if that bar is set that big, he's gonna want that money.
Oh, he's gonna
money.
get that more.
Yeah,
That's-
completely agree.
What do you think George Pickens is going to get now?
See, that ups his value as well, because even if he doesn't quite get that
No,
level,
no one should get.
he's gonna get higher level than what he would have. Same with
Well, same with Drake London now too. Which
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Drake London is. Yeah, obviously
London,
he's not.
Chris Olave is gonna get more money now as well. Like all the wide
Yeah.
receivers are gonna eat off that basically. So,
No
Even
wonder they couldn't keep Kenneth Walker.
yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
just those at the top of the market that benefit, even those that are you say your 10 million wide receivers. Well, that you kind of go, well, that bumps them up to 12, 13 million. It adds a couple of mils onto some, but that's why it's great for the Seahawks to get it done now, because while we're saying this, and we see this every year, there's always at least one position group that changes the highest paid at least 3 times over the course of the off season. It's the only people who didn't like it were owners of, say, the Rams and the Cowboys, who now have to say, okay, okay, right, now we've got to go. There's a few extra million we're going to have to fork up that we didn't plan on doing anyway. Seahawks are going to love it, because by the end of by June, July, Jackson Smith and Jigba will probably be now number 3 on that list, and we'll be talking about how crazy Puka's contract is, or Pickens' contracts, for example.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to ask, just double checking, that affects people who have been tagged as well, doesn't it? Because it brings up the average high earners pay, which
Yeah,
affects
you're
what the
right.
tag gets paid.
You're right, but because obviously the way that the tag works is it's an average of the 5 highest paid players at that position, right? So then if the guy at the top is getting more money than that, then yeah, it's going to bring it up for sure.
Yeah.
This
Um,
contract is insane, the way they structured
Yeah.
it. Well, I think he earned it. He's a great player. I'm not sure I would put him in the number one, but he was due, and that's just how things work in the NFL. It's why daggum Daniel Jones is going to be making what $50 million next year for winning 8 games.
But
Yeah.
it also shows the benefit of getting a high-end receiver or high-end position player paid early,
Yep.
because
Yeah.
then you can set the bar.
That's why it was a great job what the funny enough to shout out Fletcher's team, what the Lions did with Aaron Russell Brown, that they
Yeah.
got him, they paid him like super early.
I mean, I remember that, and we were saying, "Oh, I'm not sure he's worth being the top two, or he might." I think at the time he was the top, and it's like I don't think he should be
Mm.
getting the top money. But then it's like, well, actually, you look 3 months later, Jamar Chase got a deal, Justin Jefferson got a deal, and he was no longer in that bracket of being top. So it's always the best thing to do
Mm.
if you're a team. If you're getting deals done around now, you're setting markets rather than following markets. Um, and it's a sign
Well,
of good ownership. That's why the Cowboys get deals done in August.
Mm.
well, we did it last year with Miles. Let's be honest, more defensive ends got paid more than him after, didn't they?
Mm. Yeah. Well, I mean that's just sort of again the nature of the free agency. Were there any other there weren't any other really major signings after that, right? And I mean, I think we covered a lot of them. I mean, there's obviously a few little ones, but there were no other bigger names that I can think
No.
of, right? Well, in other news, this is something that happened last week, which I raised with everybody. So the NFL is planning on creating a Wednesday before Thanksgiving night game, which no one in the world was asking for. And you wonder, why would they do this? What's the big deal? Well, the reason why they do this is because when they create island games like this, they're able to sell them to their streaming partners who will now be probably the next up in line in a few years to take over bigger chunks of the NFL. So what happens is these one-off games become island games, and they're worth hundreds of or 100 million to $150 million depending. I think this one can't really probably demand the same as a Thanksgiving Day game, but and then it also further erodes the family institutions of which we have because we're all degenerate football watchers and will not,
Yep.
well, those of us in America who would be with our families probably on that
Mm.
night or going there will now have to watch yet more football. Um, I'm pretty sure we'll have 5 games on Christmas at some point in the next four
Mm.
years, which will be awful. Anyway, now, also, I don't know, I'm just going to take you on a quick little NFL media tour. The other thing that's interesting about this is that if you're paying attention to anything that's going on in Hollywood, recently Warner Brothers Paramount
Yep.
was bought by another company and then also went and bought Warner Brothers. Now Paramount owns CBS. CBS is the major Sunday partner of the NFL in America. They do all the afternoon games. Usually, it used to be they used to do the AFC games. Fox used to do the NFC games. Now they switch it off. Anyway, long story short is because of the change in ownership of Paramount, a guy named David Ellison, whose father is one of the richest men in the world, David Ellison
Very
now owns
aware of
Paramount
Mr. Ellison.
and Warner Brothers. David Ellison, because of that change, there is a thing in the contract now that the NFL can now renegotiate their deal with CBS, which means they're probably going to make another $1 billion for the recently signed contract they did a couple years ago. What this also means is that the NFL was probably going to be planning on trying to opt out after 5 years of this contract, and it's going to cost all the other players another $1 billion so that they can keep this contract going for at least another 5 to 6 years. So anyway, lots changing. I would say this will probably be the last time these linear networks in America, which have always provided free football for pretty much everyone in America with a television, will get these packages because because the NFL knows that they can squeeze it almost to the end and probably not. And it'll be too expensive for these linear networks. When I say linear, I just mean normal TV networks,
Yeah.
not cable, to afford to continue to put these games on, which will be a major change for Americans, and which one of the biggest reasons the NFL has been so successful for 70 years on has been free on television in America for the most part, except for like the ESPN games and stuff. Anyway, probably doesn't affect most of us in the UK until the zone lets go of the rights.
Mm.
Maybe YouTube, I would really hope, but I believe DAZN did a 10-year deal with the NFL, so we're not going to get any changes. But
They might
my
increase
wish
the
is that
price of design with that
well,
being the
my My hope is that there's pressure for the zone getting to how this affects us will allow us to we'll take some of what the YouTube NFL product is,
Mm,
where you can pick and screens and you can do a
yeah.
lot more stuff. Our product is, it's fine. They're doing it's definitely better than it was when I first moved here when it was on what did we buy? What was it? Sky? It was Sky, and then it was I forgot. But anyway, I forgot. Where did we? No, it wasn't the zone. It was NFL.
NFL
What
Game
was the
Pass.
NFL package here?
NFL Game Pass.
Game Pass. Game Pass was
Game
bad.
Pass was bad. Yeah.
And that thing, it still technically exists. It's just the rights to it are given to
Isn't it
the zone.
within design now though? Because I
Yeah,
swear
yeah.
if you go in design, you can click on NFL Game
It's
Yeah,
Pass.
but
it's virtually the same package except just
Yeah,
the zone handle it.
yeah. But
Really.
yes,
the
they're
interface
him,
is so much easier to use now.
and it doesn't fail, and
Hmm.
the traffic is a lot easier, right? Yeah. So no, there's a lot of infrastructure structure that because I think that NFL Pass was just run by the NFL, and they are not tech
Yeah.
people, right? So
And
anyway,
Hasn't
why
Fletch, I think he.
so why would the NFL fork out the money to host it, to stream it, to serve it, to put it out in the other countries, to have people to maintain it when they could outsource it and make money off it instead,
Mm,
rather than and then DAZN, that's what DAZN do. That's DAZN's job. So they can
yeah.
take care of all that. I mean, the first year was a bit painful, teething problems and all that. But I say the NFL, it costs the NFL money to put that on, whereas they could just take the
Well,
money in
yeah,
and
they don't want to be
get it paid out.
distributors. That's
Mm,
I mean, sorry, they don't want to be platforms. They want to
No.
distribute their content. That's
yeah.
that's that's how they make their money. And but what's interesting to me is like in America, YouTube is essentially does own in America,
Yeah.
and the product is really good. Like everyone, I mean, it's very expensive. It's like I think it's close to like $500 a year a season. But there's a lot of really cool stuff that comes with it.
Is
It
that
would be
Sunday Ticket?
Yeah.
yeah. So Sunday
Yeah.
Ticket used to be owned by DirecTV for many, many years, and then YouTube now has had it for the last 2 or 3 years, I believe.
Mm.
So anyway,
Juppers, being an American and that, and you understand the media, does ESPN own part of the NFL
yes,
network or something? like
yes. So the NFL sold part of its media group to the ESPN for a piece of ESPN. It's a really weird deal. Really good for the NFL. So now they own a part of the network which covers them and which also buys the rights to their games. Quite weird. There's a lot of weird stuff happening. I mean, Tom, like I know we bring it up a lot, but Tom Brady being a part owner and a broadcaster, while there's just no way they would have let anybody do that 10 years
Yeah.
ago. It's just like it just doesn't make sense. You can't do both. But anyway, there's just a lot of
There's still a lot of
conflicting.
people that think that like that is
Conflict of
strange
interest.
anyway.
They didn't let
Like,
Matt
yeah.
Ryan wanted to keep his CBS job and be
Mm.
president, and they wouldn't let him do it. So Tom
Yeah.
Brady, because
Tom
he's
Brady is the exception or
yeah,
whatever.
so
Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
Troy Aikman to a certain extent. So it
Mm,
is very bizarre. But there's
mm.
a lot, yeah. The NFL Network owning a piece of ESPN, who covers it journalistically, is there's a lot of weird stuff there. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm sure our UK listeners probably are tired of the American talking about weird media stuff, but I find it really interesting, and I thought Fletch said I could talk about it. But Fletch, you've got a piece of news that we need to go last on.
Yeah. So it is as of the date of this episode, so this episode goes out on the 24th. You spoke before, Chapman, about birthdays and how on the 13th of July Travis Kelce's getting married. And then something else is happening on that day. I can't remember.
June.
Oh yeah, that's it. June 13th of June. Travis Kelce's
I'm a
getting married.
Gemini player.
Something else happens on that day. Well, there is an important birthday happening this week on Thursday.
Is it yours?
Hurdle the Line turns 2 years old on Thursday.
Wow.
The first episode was dropped officially on the 26th of March 2024, which would be 2 years ago on Thursday. So
Wow.
I think I thought we have to mention that as a piece of news. Happy birthday, Hurdle the Line. And I
Happy
cannot
birthday.
believe we've been doing this for 2 years.
I can't
How
either.
time has flown.
Are we gonna
So
get
that-
cake? What's happening?
In about 3 years, you'll get a pint from a bar in Manchester.
Manchester's so far away.
I know, but those were the limitations put on me last week. Without my knowledge. Unfortunately, so if you can't make it, I'm sorry. That was nothing I can do about it.
Okay, well, we'll all be waiting for that birthday cake at some point in the future when Flesh starts cashing in his dividends and whatnot. All right. Anything else, guys? Batch, you got anything? Any other news you want to talk about? Tom?
No, not from
No.
me.
No. All right. Well, it's good to see that if Ollie's not vaping off the corner of the thing, we've got Batch now. So, all right, let's go. Stock up, stock down. I'm gonna take the one that I feel like is the lowest hanging fruit here, and that is the Los Angeles Rams. I think this is probably going to be a unanimous stock up. Talk about the moves they've made, including trading for Chiefs quarterback McDuffie. They know Stafford probably. I have to believe this is Stafford's last year, but maybe not. Not because I don't think he could still play. It's just more I don't understand how his body is still uh, together. Um,
Hmm.
Anybody, what do we think about all these moves to get another Super Bowl for
I
up?
think they're aggressive, but that is their approach. Like they've
Mhm.
shown with Les Snead as the GM and Sean McVay as the coach that they're going to go all in. And getting a player of Trent McDuffie's quality, especially in an area where they really struggled. That was one of their only weaknesses when it came to last season was on the back end. So basically signing the whole of the Chiefs secondary in in Trent McDuffie and then getting Jalen Watson in free agency as well. They're just shoring up the one area that was the chink in their armor basically. And they think that they can go and win another Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford after an MVP season that he had, and they've still got pick number 19 or 8,
13.
13. Yeah, there you go. They've still got pick number 13 in the draft as well. So they're gonna load up, that's for sure.
Hmm. Please don't bring that
Yeah.
up in front of me again.
So
Yeah, I
I,
agree though. The Rams are definitely stock up. They just have everything. They have their shit in one sock is sorry language, but that's the way I would put it.
Batch, could you repeat that? What did you just? What was the phrasing?
They have their shit in one sock.
Hmm.
That
I'm
might
gonna have to Google this.
Yeah, I might need some subtitles.
military statement.
Oh, okay. Got it. All right. Well, I definitely try to put my poop in two socks. You might as well.
Eh,
You might if you got one and on one foot. One.
I'm
Look, you might
I'm gonna
go
be
ahead.
honest with you, is I don't like to put poop in any of my socks. I like to put my socks on
yeah,
my
I
feet.
don't like to do that at all.
Gotta be honest
Uh,
with you, there, lads. I've never tried it before.
no.
So to
Well,
get
that's
your
definitely
shit
getting
in,
aggravated.
Yeah.
So what I would say with the Rams, you're right. That is an approach, but also you're looking at your rival Seattle Seahawks just won the Super Bowl and have a really solid, young, great defense and
Yep.
team. Uh, you've got San Francisco, who's been your nemesis, and has been to at least what they've lost two. I know two to you.
Two.
Yeah, two, and are always, regardless of what happens to them, are still winning 10 games. It feels like every single year, and they're also. I don't think they had a choice. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I think
Yeah.
that I don't even know if it is actually a philosophy as much as you either gonna have to keep those. That's like a daggum, old school Cold War
Mm.
thing. They're just you got to just keep stockpiling until somebody wins. So, but I do think what they did was smart. I guess is that
Yeah,
because
that's what
run
I
with
mean, is in like the areas of need, like are the ones where they didn't overpay for like players and all that sort of stuff. They
Nope.
they signed, players that they needed at valuable positions to move forward and, as you say, to compete in one hell of a division outside of the Cardinals, who are just an absolute mess.
Yeah, I mean, that was going to be my point, was just, have you got much of a choice in that division with the Seahawks and the 49ers, which is going to be, I mean, we talk all the time about different divisions and which one's the hardest, and that could genuinely be, given that any of those three teams can legitimately win and all be in the playoffs at the same time for years. You have to, and I agree with Tom there that I don't see, I've never not seen one of these deals come through and thought, oof, they've given a bit too much there, or every deal seems fair, every deal seems well done. And I think it's a testament to not just how Sean McVay runs, that players want to be in LA still. It's a testament to how good Les Snead is as a GM, and how he's got those, how he utilizes those relationships across the league to get good deals.
Yeah. They're a very good franchise. They have a decent owner who owns some other things too that I like.
Yeah, true.
Uh, all right. Let's go to our first stock down. Um, and this is a player, which it's Malik Willis. Malik Willis had a really strong season filling in for Jordan Love this year. Everybody was very excited him. He was outside of Kyler Murray, one of the more coveted quarterback free agents. Could have picked anywhere that needed a starting quarterback to go and play. He decides to follow one of his coaches down to Miami, and then they swiftly start, signs a decent 3-year deal, I believe, for some really good money. And then, pardon me, and then Miami swiftly after decides to go into rebuild mode and starts just getting rid of all sorts of players, including Waddle and whatnot. Um, should Malik had done the Sam Darnold thing, or should he have cashed in? By meaning the
Mm.
Sam Darnold thing, go somewhere for a year that he
Mm.
knows he's going to start or that actually has a good infrastructure. He went to the Vikings, where and great coach, one of the best receivers in the league, really good team, ready to win, and he get paid off, and then he goes to Seattle and wins the Super Bowl next year, and
Mm.
still gets his money too. Did Malik? I mean, I will never begrudge somebody for getting life-changing money in that way, in that
No.
respect, but still, maybe not picking a team that is falling apart at the seams.
Was he sold a false dream?
Yeah, that's the thing I think.
You know, maybe it wasn't made clear to him. Jalen Waddle's going, Jalen Ramsey's going. That it was it. Was he sold? Oh yeah, we'll be competitive this year, and now they're looking like they're in the same bracket as the Jets. But
I
Dre,
don't know. I think there's a couple of ways of looking at it for QBs in this kind of position, though. And given that he's been a backup so far in his, well, other than his tumultuous time in Tennessee, he's been a backup. You get the option. You're the guaranteed starter. They're not starting Quinn Ewers. And
No.
like Chapman said, you get the chance to go. You get a lot of money, and
Mm.
you get to go and be a starter. There's a The Sam Darnold way is the exciting way because that's the way that's just won a Super Bowl. But you've got the other ones where, for example, it's maybe the Goff way, where you go where you're kind of just, your career may have stalled a little bit, or you've been a backup. I know the Graf wasn't a backup, but you go somewhere that's got a new head coach, new GM. You go and help them start it up, and maybe if it gels, and like I say, he knows the head coach, he's already got that pre-existing relationship, it's a bit easier for him to settle in. Maybe it just kind of works and he can really build something off the top of it anyway. I don't necessarily think he was sold a false dream. No one, if he was going to, if he believed anyway, if you said to him, you're going to go to Miami and we're going to have a really good first year, if he believed them, then boy, I've got some magic beans for him that I'd like to get rid of. So he'll
I,
believe
I
anything.
think I think you're right, Flex, because I almost think it's the flip side. Because even if you do think he was sold a bill of goods or whatever, what if he can go in there and actually perform at a good level? Then that's going to show, that he can actually do it, even though, even with the lack of weapons, if he's still able to succeed, that's just going to prove even further that he's, developed as a quarterback and can be a starter in this league. So,
Yeah, and another idea myself, I thought could be this is a free year for him.
Yeah.
Like you boys are saying, he's going to a team that's rebuilding. He could be the fuse for the rebuild or whatever. And this is a free year which no one is really going to judge him because he's got no weapons anyway, apart from Devon A-Chain.
yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. It's just one of them. Like,
Well,
he might have actually had the little bit easier side of it where he doesn't have to go and prove himself anywhere. He can just go and make some money and play some football.
yeah, and I think it's more of it stinks for him because he is going to get this starter opportunity, but it is going to be on a team that has a very poor roster. But you know,
Yeah.
it it I would also say I think knowing sort of where Miami was, I don't feel like he got too duped there because they needed to start overhauling a lot of that because they had a lot of money in a player they were very top heavy. They knew the dead cap. I mean, he knew the dead cap with Tua. I'm going to say this too because it's not on our list. I'm going to just do it really quickly. This is not a Falcons. This is a Tua. I think Tua is a stock up for him only because he's going to be in a position where if he can outplay Michael Penix, he's going to start for as long as he wants. And if it sucks for Michael Penix because if he can't beat out Tua, then he's definitely not going to be a franchise quarterback anyway. But Tua, pardon me, guys. Tua is still getting the 50 some odd $1 million from Miami. And he's going to a place where he is going to be able to compete and play. And he's got that offense is not, I'm not going to say it's top 10, but it ain't a loser, right?
It's got top 10 potential for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's got potential. We'll see. We've been told that for friggin' 4 years in a row. So, what do I know? But what I would just say, he's a winner in that he went somewhere where it's not a dumpster fire. There's competent people in the room that are going to try to win. Unfortunately, I think for the Falcons, is they're going to be good enough to win 8 games again, but they may not have their quarterback, so we're going to be screwed at the end of that year anyway. But like I said. I think it's a winner for him. I think that was a great move, and I would say the same for another guy we're going to talk about in a minute, but we'll talk about that at the end. All right, let me throw the next one out here. This is a surprising one for me. Stock up. Sorry, I forgot. I changed the name of the thing, and now I'm saying the wrong one. Stock up. The Tennessee Titans.
Yes. Let me shout about the Tennessee Titans. Right, they had a terrible season last year. They tried, they tried their best around Cam Ward, but they didn't really fill the offense with talent for him to succeed. Now, what they've done is that they've signed defensive pieces and pieces on the offensive line as well to try and shore that up for Cam Ward, as well as just some good like smart signing of players. Like I think they signed Wan'Dale Robinson. I know he's kind of on the short side, but it gives another weapon to Cam Ward, and you got the 4th overall pick, who I really don't think that they should use Jeremiah Love on because they still got holes on their roster that they need to build around, and a running back is not going to solve that. I think personally, I think they need a wide receiver 1. Obviously, they got Calvin Ridley, but he's been declining and what have you. But they've
Tat McMillan.
Hmm?
Tat? No, I'm wrong team. Sorry.
Yeah, he's with the Panthers. But yeah,
Sorry.
that's one
Nearly
thing
the
that they're
right colour,
lacking.
though. Well done, Batch.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly.
Mistaken
But
it,
I just think that the signings that they made were smart signings for a team that is trying to build around Cam Ward and put him in the best position possible.
Yeah.
He's got the potential. Cam Ward definitely has the potential.
I
Yeah.
love him.
Who? I think for Cam, because if you remember last year, I was really high on Cam Ward last year, even though I know, from the class 2 years ago and sort of the quarterbacks, he wasn't, all timer, but I really think he has potential. Like I really do. I hope they go offensive line and don't try to be cute. And you know what I mean? I completely agree with you, Tom. Like, don't get the flashy, like no disrespect to Love, but like don't do it. Be
Just don't
responsible.
fall for the trap of it. Just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. We saw last year some of the things that Cam Ward was capable of. We also saw some of, I think, my favorite game all of last year is still the Cardinals Titans game, which was just pure chaos, like
Mm.
three quarters of it. And um, but you saw like some of the times when it was that play where he rolled out the pocket, he was running all the way over to the right hand side, and he made the cross body throw, went across the whole field for a touchdown. And you see some of the brilliance that he genuinely has. I can't wait to see him and hopefully see him make and get better and better and better in the league. I really can't.
That makes two of us. All right. Stock down the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills come up short yet again this season in the year where Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson both are not in the playoffs. They definitely desperately need to do some work to get Josh Allen some help on the offensive weapons categories. They also their defense still let them down time and time again. McDermott's gone. You got Joe Brody coming in. You still have the same um, GM up there, whose name I'm forgetting.
Brandon Bean, who somehow still
Brandon
has a job
Bean.
and
Yeah,
got
Brandon Bean.
promoted.
That's right.
So
We Googled his picture, and you're like, "Hey, if I created an AI, looking like an executive NFL guy, Brandon Bean is like he's literally Chat GPT poster child." But they traded for DJ Moore, which now even looks worse than it did 2 weeks ago, except for the price for DJ, which because now wide receivers are $40 million. What do we think about the Buffalo Bills? Stock down?
Yeah,
I also think, like, and I made this point when I was writing about it, is that they tried to do that. They tried to trade for Waddle. Last season they tried to trade for him, but the Dolphins wouldn't do it, or they wanted more price, and they didn't get it. And that was the biggest loser for them because if the Bills had been able to acquire Waddle, I think he'd be a massive difference maker for them because currently their wide receiver, I think Gabe Davis might be back there now. Obviously Keon Coleman's there, but he's not really worked out. So, Khalil Shakir is obviously a great, slot receiver, but you need a number one guy, which the Bills have struggled with and not had basically, well, since Stephon Diggs left. And as Chapman said, the defense again, like they got ran all over. So unless they're gonna, bolster that in the draft and do everything that they can, um, like it just seems like they're not building the best pieces around Josh Allen to succeed.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, there was a bit of controversy straight at the end of the season about Keon Coleman, wasn't there? Because I think Brandon Bean saying he didn't want to draft him, the coaches wanted to, but then there was a video where
Yeah, the
someone
video of him explicitly saying in the draft room that he wanted Keon Coleman. That one.
Yeah.
There was a point
how
in. Oh, I can't remember who it was, but someone had mocked a wide receiver. No, Brandon Bean talking about one of the receivers. Might have been some like Carnell Tate, some stuff like that. In the draft. And I said someone had clipped it and put it on Instagram, and I was like, "It's a good job you've done that for him 3 years." When he said he never wanted Carnell Tate to begin with.
Yeah, yeah.
Idiot. I think the worst thing for the Bills in terms of stock down though is, and genuinely is, keeping Brandon Bean. I'd like to see. I don't hate the Joe Brady hire as head coach, and I think again, but Joe Brady was another one of those in the videos when you look at it, who really banged the table for Keon Coleman. He absolutely loved Keon Coleman, and it was as soon as he got the job as head coach, he ran Keon Coleman and said, "This is the best thing for you." at the Bills because you know how much I love you and really, really want you as part of this team. So it's a weird one with the Bills. I think to an extent as well though with the Bills, if you obviously we can say what we want about the Patriots this season, and but the fact is they're going to have a much, much more difficult schedule this year.
And we will.
We will, yeah, we will continue to do that. But with their much more difficult schedule this year, and they've done quite well in the off season, but they could even be leveling up in the fact that maybe the Patriots are a little bit more out the way again this year, and have a bit of a better run into the playoffs. So maybe, I don't know, bit of a weird one for the Bills. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
That's not the exercise, Fletch. You've got to pick one or other. Stock up or stock down. That does not help us here.
Steady.
Oh.
I'm steady. If anything, I will slightly stock up. Slightly.
Interesting.
Bears or Bulls? Just saying like Wall Street shit now. Excuse me. See, Batch cusses and then it just infects me. This is what I don't like about this.
It's all Batch's fault. Damn it, Batch.
Yes.
Well, the new guy's going to have to get some shit for a little while, right? Like until Ollie gets back. Winner. This is another one of Tom's delights, which is stock up. Carolina Panthers. Tell us about this one, Tom.
Yeah, so they arguably signed the best player available in free agency at his position in Jalen Phillips. Obviously, the Eagles tried to re-sign him, but it was just too much money. But that was a need that they've had for a while, on the edge, especially, up in the middle, they got Derek Brown. He's an absolute beast. Doesn't quite get the recognition that I think he deserves in the league. But, for those, who do see him, yeah, he's an absolute force anyway. And then that alongside getting Devin Lloyd, who had a career year last year with the Jags, was I think that was a really solid move for them. And they're really just building something, Dave Canales and Dan Morgan, the GM, really kind of building something around, even if, Bryce Young's not the guy, they're putting everything in his disposal to try and get him to succeed anyway. And then if he's not, they can, figure out who the next guy is. But they also even got Rasheed Walker, a guy that was coveted. He only signed a 1-year deal, but he's a decent to above average left tackle, and they got him on the cheap as well, especially with Ekwonu.
Actually, what?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking to the. You're looking at me for saying a name?
It's Ikem Ekwonu, I think, but he got
Ekwonu.
injured, obviously, and he was playing some great ball before that. But I just think that the Panthers are the build is slow, but it does seem to be effective, especially Ted McMillan, home run signing so far anyway. He balled out in year one, so I think they're only gonna go up and. Yeah, I just see them as one of the.
I'm with you on the stock up. I personally think Kyler did take a step forward last season, though he was a little bit too inconsistent. When he had his good days, he had his very good days. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, he had some really good. I mean, he played great against like the Rams. They had. Even in the playoff game, I think he played pretty decent in that one as well. Yeah, he struggled in obviously with consistency, but that's something that you will get from him. But you get the highs and the lows. But maybe just signing those sort of players to build around and allow him to continue to develop. We'll just have to see. But
no, absolutely. And if the Dave Canales has shown that he's continuously improved as a head coach and as a coach in general throughout so far. I mean, you've got to generally do that anyway, but another year of Dave Canales learning with another off season with a few more players and putting the things around Bryce Young that they had and continue to build around Bryce Young is only a good thing and is only going to get them better. And let's face it, there are no other teams in that division. I mean, they're like. I do know a Panthers fan, but 3 of my closest people are a Saints fan, a Falcons fan, and why not all 3 at the same time? Why not? There's no one else in that division to compete against. So your only real competition has just lost Mike Evans. So
Mm.
Chapman
That's
didn't know
Well,
whether to be
there you'll
offended at
also
that
be
or not.
playing a first. You also will be playing a first place schedule, and I do believe the NFC
Yes.
South has a. I
Yeah.
forgot who they. I'm pretty sure they have the NFC West next year, and I
I
forgot who
think
we were.
I think the North have got the South.
Um,
Yeah, so we'll see about how that goes. Um,
Can I
so
add a sneaky?
NFC North versus
oh,
NFC. Sorry, NFC South plays the NFC North. NFC Plow South plays the AFC North.
Ooh.
And their extra additional conference game will be against the AFC West. So they'll have the Broncos as well to throw in onto that one.
oh, which means we'll be playing this year, Tom. Maybe
No, I
Yeah,
think wait,
you
are we
finished
playing?
third. You finished third, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be playing.
Oh
Batch,
no. There we go.
stock up, stock down. What do you got?
Um, I was potentially gonna say stock down on the Bucks
Mm.
Hmm.
oh yeah.
because realistically they've lost Mike Evans, who is Mr. Consistent, hits 1,000 yard seasons most seasons. Baker tried his hardest that year to give him that 1,000 yards for the bonus. And they've not really replaced him. Wide receivers, realistically, who've they got? What's his name? The other wide receiver who was injured a lot last season. I can't
Oh,
remember his name.
Chris Godwin.
That's
Chris Godwin.
Mm.
He realistically, he looked like he took a step back last season. He was in the treatment room a lot, and
But
they
so was Mike Evans, in all fairness. He missed like 7 games or something. I mean, he's always due to miss that every year. Um,
he
but
still hit 1,000 yards.
he didn't.
No, I mean, but if you said,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I definitely get what you mean, and I agree that they did take a step back in service, especially because I think quite a lot of their roster is like old as well. They've got an aging roster. I mean, they're putting a lot of faith in Emeka Egbuka to be the guy. And the second half of last year, he kind of didn't perform as well. But maybe with
it's
Mike Evans
weird.
going, he does take an uptake. So we'll have to see. But I would slightly, I'd shade. I would agree with you slightly there.
We're gonna do one more that we'll discuss for a little longer, and then we'll do like a little like lightning quick round robin if we want to throw any more. And I'm going off our cheat sheet here, and the last stock down, which I think will be a unanimous one, is the Indianapolis Colts. At 8-2 last season, they go all in, trading 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner, and then their team just falls apart. Daniel Jones has a broken leg, continues to play, then tears his Achilles, whatever you do to
yeah.
your Achilles.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, they their wide receiver depth was hurt by losing Pittman over the offseason, but they have to pay Alex Pierce, who I'm not sure in that money, but at least they beat the big the Jigba contract.
Mm.
Um, yeah, just seems like weird vibes
Yeah,
to
Yeah.
you.
I would agree 100%. I think they're with Daniel Jones and them paying Alec Pierce. I think they're paying something like 40% or like 35% of their cap to two players. And like that's not how good teams, build with roster construction. They haven't got a first round pick this year. Don't think they've got one next year either because they gave them both to
The
Jets for
the
sure.
Jets.
Jets for Sauce Gardner. So they're just in a bit of and they kind of backed themselves into an with Daniel Jones as well. They will always sign, but with the leverage that because who else are they going to get? So they were always going to sign him, and obviously I know there's a lot of stipulations in the contract. Still, they're giving him a lot of money for half a season of good play. And Daniel Jones's agents are some of the best finessing people in sports.
Yeah.
And Kirk, along with Kirk Cousins' agents.
Oh yeah.
I think Daniel
But-
Jones's agents can take that one quite happily because
But with regards to the Colts, though, they, like you said, they gave up 2 first rounds for Sauce Gardner, who went from the Jets with a bad season to the Colts and had the similar record when he went there as well. And it's like, you've wasted 2 first rounds because he's good, but he's not world beating, is he?
when
Not since his rookie season.
no, Sauce Gardner without holding is well, Kindle Vildor. It's no, he went 1-9 with the Jets to start, traded, and then went 1-8 with
Yeah.
the Colts, who were 8-1, 9-1 at the time. It was actually ridiculous. I don't hate what the Colts have done. I recently did an little mock draft type thing for the touchdown, in which I had to the team I ended up getting was the Colts. Now it's really really hard to do a depth article like that on a team that you don't know very well. So, but I don't hate it too much. I think one of the places no one's really talking about though is how they've got no experience in the linebacker room anymore.
And Isaiah Franklin just left,
Yeah.
like your leader on defense just
And
walks out the door.
And he was the last remaining bit of real NFL experience in that room, and he's gone. So, and they haven't done a very good job at bringing it back in. They brought some backup pieces or guys who were backups elsewhere, but they haven't brought any real starting experience to that room. And so the defense has taken a bit of a hit. I think it's something they could probably put together in the draft, and where they do pick in the draft, it's somewhere they're going to be in a really good position to get some of the, especially the interior D line, to fix up some there. But I think it'd be a lot worse, or it'd be a lot weirder if we were talking about if they couldn't sign Daniel Jones and they didn't have a quarterback going into it because they lost Anthony Richardson, or Anthony Richardson's out the door, and all they'd be left with was Riley Leonard, and potentially being one of the teams who was desperately after like an Andy Dalton or something. So as much as they've given Daniel Jones a lot of money, and it was either that or they go into the empty QB market really that was there, and then or go into the draft where maybe you get a Garrett Nussmeier at 46 and you have to reach. They were in a bad position, so getting Daniel Jones wasn't the worst thing.
Maybe, but I
Well,
think it goes more to the point of the team is built on fool's gold in my respect.
yeah.
They were 8-2 and they got greedy. They thought they were farther than they were. And then when things started falling apart, now you're forced to pay a guy who's already failed at one team and was having a good season, a very good season, but was also propped up by a lot of other things that were going on. And I think they beat every losing quarterback last season in those 8 games, if I'm not mistaken. And it's funny, they fell apart after playing us in Germany, of course. As the Germans. All right.
What about Shane Steichen? Would you say he is under pressure?
I don't think so, personally.
No, you got bailed out by the injury, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, even before the start of last season, articles I had read said he was, on a hot seat before the start. And then, okay.
Yeah, but he kind of proved his worth in that 7-game run. Obviously, I know it didn't end well, but that also had a lot to do with your quarterback going down, and now you're playing Riley Leonard. and
And a
And the old
teams are
man.
49-year-old.
stacking the box trying to stop Jonathan Taylor, whereas earlier in the season he was finding gaps to run through. So
When,
I think that
when
does make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, you get to a point where, yeah, you're playing either Riley Leonard or a fossil at quarterback uh, for a little bit of it. And some of the football that they were playing as well through those 8 games was really, really good football. Um, so yeah, you're right. That second half of the season, you can insert excuse here that does by that time. If you go through another year of this, yeah, you start to maybe look at that.
But I was trying to land the plane on my comment, which
Sorry.
was the Colts had not made good decisions over the last couple of years. One of them being Anthony Richardson, taking him way too high. Then the actually bring in Daniel Jones, but then being in a place where you
Backwards and
have to pay him
forwards.
because you have you know what I mean? While agree in a vacuum, it's probably not going to look as the money is not, but they also have a GM that I quite don't understand how he still has his
I
job.
have no
And I
idea.
don't like calling for people's jobs. I just question
But yeah,
what is it?
I agree with you. I don't know how Chris Ballard still has, and I
Yeah.
think he's been coach GM for like 11 years or something.
It's
We spent
2017.
way too much time on the Indianapolis
2017.
Colts at this point, so I have to cut us off.
Yeah. I've not
Lightning
even got
round.
all of you.
I know. Lightning round. Stock up Kyler Murray, stock down JJ McCarthy.
Yeah,
Yes.
agreed.
Yep.
Well, I don't think Kyler is going to see the heights of our friend Sam Darnold. I think he's going to have a very fun year, and I think that's going to be a very fun team to watch.
How
All right.
much how much with the addition of Carson Wentz has Kyler Murray stock gone up?
Exponentially, because Carson Wentz is just, yeah, not it. I got one. Um, well, I was going to say the Eagles stock up or stock down.
Steady.
I'm personally very stock down. Fuck the Eagles anyway.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
But
they
Howie Roseman
I just
is
think they lost a lot of pieces as well. Again, it's the second off season in a row where they've lost pieces. You know, they lost Reed Blankenship, they lost Nakobe Dean, and they don't seem to have added. Yeah, they've added like depth pieces, but and AJ Brown's still on the roster. Like, are they keeping him? Are they trading him? Like, it just seems all a bit uncertain. But yeah, Harry Roseman is a magician, so he'll probably pull something out of the bag in the draft and blow us all away. But
Remember, we're not an even year, so they had their nightmare year, so they could have a good year this year, right? Isn't that how it
I
works?
mean, they got rid of Kevin Patullo, so how much worse could it be?
True, yeah. I mean that's definitely a stock up, to be fair. But
I got one. Commanders, stock up, stock down, or steady?
stock down.
Stock down.
I
Yeah.
don't know. If I had to pick one, I'd probably pick stock down because they did the classic thing of we went to the again, went to the NFC Championship game with a rookie quarterback. It was great. Did have the year from hell last year, but also plugged holes by just signing old guys, which Dan Quinn did that in Atlanta too. I don't know. I don't trust the team building really, but not yet. I mean, I could, but I don't know. And I also just want to see Jaden, Daniels make it through a season in the NFL.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't know. I'm going to say stock down on the Commanders as well. Well, I'm going to look at the coaching hire and just say I need to see what David Blau's all about as an offensive coordinator. He was highly touted as a very good offensive mind. Obviously, very familiar with him being in the Lions building as a backup. But it's a bit of a punt offensive coordinator by the sounds of it, and that could, as we all know, that's going to go one of two. That never works out okay for teams. It's either a genius hire or it is horrible and goes badly very quickly.
The one signing they made that I did like is with signing Odefe Owe because needed they needed help as part of the D line like massively. to get a guy on the edge to actually rush the passer. And I think they got some like the least amount of sacks in the NFL last season. So getting a guy like that, I think was big for them. But I just don't think it's enough.
I've got one, and to our new listeners who are showing up in droves now, and to Batch, our newest member, we all know that there's a puppet master at Heart of the Line. There's somebody who's always in the background, influencing, positively most of the time, and she's lovely. I know. I've never met her in person yet, but she's always there. And I believe she's probably now just swimming in money somewhere back behind the scenes, from what I understand. But let's do this. I'm going to go stock up, and this will be the first time in 2 years I've ever said anything positive. Stock up New Orleans Saints.
Yes.
Couple reasons why. Kellen Moore, I think sometimes when you don't get the coach you want or the best coach, sometimes the coach you get is good for you. And I think he's actually showed last year he was not that terrible of a coach. They have a really young quarterback who I really like and who I was bummed about that they, and were able to get him. Was it the second round, Tom? Or was it, second round?
Yes, second round, yeah.
And shook. And I think they're gonna be an offensive led team. And I think they're taking I think even though Mickey Loomis is still the dark arts master of GMing, I think they are eating a little bit of their vegetables now, and they're going to be building through the draft. They didn't do necessarily a ton in free agency, though. I do remember them doing a couple of bits and trading off. I think didn't they signed a running back?
Yes, yeah, they signed Travis Etienne.
Travis Etienne,
No, they did not sign Travis Etienne.
Travis Etienne.
Yeah, but then why have people been pronouncing it wrong for this whole time, and why has he not told them it before? This is what I'm saying.
Because he was,
a polite kid. I will say this.
Hold on.
I have a friend who I knew for years and years and years in Los Angeles. Also a Falcons fan. Was from Atlanta. We met when I was working at Cartoon Network. Great guy. He's actually a director on he's one of the bigs on the Super Mario Brothers movies. Great guy. I said his last name wrong for years. And he didn't correct me until I introduced him to another friend of mine after I moved here, who they became friends. And then he told me, he's like, you say his last name wrong. And I'm like, what? And then I confronted Jeff about it. And he was like, yeah. But I just never, So,
so maybe it was like that.
One of my mates, I've got to say, like, no, I'm not going to get into that one because I'm doxing myself and giving out too much information about myself here. I can't remember what I was going to say now. Anyway, carry on. Back to as you were.
Anybody have any Saints takes? Because that's going to be it for us, unless anybody wants to throw one out for
the
60 seconds.
The cap hell situation that they've worked themselves out of obviously is nothing but a positive. And I agree with everything else you've said. So
hopefully there's some brownie points from Mrs. Fletch for me now.
She's not listening. She doesn't care.
I know. Well aware.
Money.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This was fun. Stock up, stock down. Well, hopefully maybe we'll revisit this after the draft. We have the college football team. They're talking a lot of draft stuff. We're going to start ramping up here after Easter. We are only 4 weeks away now. 4.
Yeah.
We will have
tomorrow.
About a month tomorrow. So we will be doing a mock draft.
It's a month today.
Month today.
23rd.
Wow.
There we go. So I'm telling time without even knowing. All right. Yes, we will be doing a mock draft, which I'm sure Fletch will be letting us know about at some point. I believe it's the 21st. Is that confirmed?
The 20th. Yeah, it'll be the 21st.
Yeah, so that'll be fun.
22nd.
Yeah, so we're getting that planned, like we do every season. We are going to be doing some more draft focus episodes coming up that Tom, Ollie, Batch, and Sam and I have yet to plan, but we will. and maybe we'll have another guest on at some point in the near couple weeks.
Yes.
I just made that up, by the way.
I mean, that can definitely happen. We have obviously queues of people. I mean, they're right there, the queues of people. I have to put the background on so you don't see
As
them
long as
trying to
it's
get
not
on.
someone sniping the Browns.
In fact, I only get people in who exclusively snipe the Browns, if I'm going to be quite honest with you there, Batch.
If the next person is not an NFC person, there will be heck to pay. I'm telling you that.
Okay.
We need.
So we need NFC and to snipe the Browns. That's so easy.
I don't care about the second part.
No, I mean, I just backed myself into that corner. So, and then there's on the 3rd of April, the Fantasy Den podcast is coming back as well. So
Excellent. Lots to look forward to. We've got your college, we've got your fantasy, and of course your line. We got your NFL, all your needs. I think there's some more exciting announcements to be coming soon. So please stay tuned. Make sure you follow us down. All the information's below in the right under you in the chat. Fletch.
Here we go.
He loves to interrupt when I'm trying to.
I'm going to say the final stock up for the week is the AAW network, right? Who stock up.
Yeah. So thanks so much for joining us. Please follow us. All our tags are down the bottom, and make sure you listen to us, subscribe. Also, we're on YouTube. Please subscribe to that. We've definitely are in the tens of hundreds that we're trying to get to on that one. So come on, guys. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next Monday. Hurdle that stock.